Hello everyone, I'm Miss Barbara. Today we're going to talk about abuse. Abuse is something that many children live with, but is often kept a secret. You're old enough now to talk openly about the kinds of touches that are unsafe, and to make smart choices for your own safety. No one should ever touch you on a private part of your body, or ask you to touch their private body parts. These are unsafe touches, and they are abuse. Understanding unsafe touches isn't easy. The truth is that abusers are most often friends or relatives, and abuse from trusted adults is very hard to talk about.
But we've got the power to stop it. I'm Darius, and this is Maya. Kids who've been abused might be scared or too embarrassed to talk about it, but we can't keep it a secret.
It's never your fault if someone touches you inappropriately. If you think you've been abused, you need to tell an adult, like a teacher or another family member.
We're here to share our stories about abuse and help show you that you can talk about it.
We also want you to remember that your body belongs to you. You have the power to say no and get help if someone has hurt or touched you, no matter who it is.
We use the Protect Yourself rules to recognize abuse and prevent it from ever happening again.
When we talk about a rule, it will pop up on screen. If you ever find yourself in situations like these in real life, you can remember these rules to stay safe.
Abuse is an awful thing, but we have the power to stop it. If you have something you don't feel comfortable talking about, then you need to talk about it. I'm Maya. A couple weeks ago, someone I knew touched me on a private part of my body. It was hard to talk about what happened, but this is something none of us should ever keep secret. My friend Jess had a pool party and invited everyone from our class. Jess's parents were inside, and her older brother Roger was watching the party. I'd seen Roger around, and I thought he was pretty cool. I went into Jess's room to change, and then I got undressed. I heard a noise and turned, and Roger was in the room with me. He saw me changing. I was so embarrassed, but he tried to play it off like nothing had happened. He said he'd noticed me checking him out and that we should get to know each other. He started to touch me, and I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I'd thought Roger was a nice guy, but anybody that invades your privacy or tries to touch your private parts is a creep. Touching like that is not okay. You have to tell them no and get away. I took his hand away and said, "Don't touch me." He got mad and told me not to tell anyone about what happened. If I did, he said he'd tell everyone I was flirting with him. It felt gross to keep what Roger did a secret, but I didn't want people to think bad things about me. Girls and boys in our grade hang out together more, but there are boundaries for touching. So why did I feel like I'd done something wrong? Was it my fault for wearing a bathing suit? I felt confused and alone. I couldn't even talk to Jess, but I knew I had to tell someone. So I told my mom. I was nervous. What if she didn't believe me or freaked out? But that didn't happen. She listened and took what happened seriously. I was just glad to finally talk about it.
I'm sorry this happened, Maya, but you did the right thing. Touching someone on private parts of their body is abuse.
I kept thinking that it was my fault that Roger touched me. But even if someone thinks you're flirting with them, it doesn't give them permission to touch you.
That's right. It's never your fault if someone tries to touch you, no matter what you're wearing. If this does happen, you have to tell an adult you trust. I'm glad you remembered the rules, Maya, and knew how to protect yourself.
Thanks, Miss Barbara.
Hi, my name's Darius. I'm going to tell you about what used to happen at my house. I never really liked to talk about it, but some of you might have the same story. Maybe there are other kids who don't like going home after school. I could always hear my mom and dad from outside. They'd fight about money, bills, work, and everything else. I know things are hard, so I'd try to stay out of their way. But it was easy for them to find something to get angry about, like a messy room. Some parents don't know how to hold back, and kids like me are scared that if we mess up, we'll get hit. Hard. No one should get hurt at home, and you can't keep it to yourself if it happens. I love my dad, but it doesn't matter who it is. If someone hurts you, it has to stop. I needed help. They say teachers and counselors at school are people that you can talk to. And it was true. I went to the school counselor and she knew what to do. She said someone would come by to help us. It felt really good to tell someone. Things got better after that. My parents got help. I was never hit again.
Thank you, Darius. It can be hard to understand if someone you love acts violently, but you have to keep yourself safe if they do. Adults with bad tempers might not always be able to tell the difference between punishment and abuse. Remember, abuse includes hitting, throwing things, and verbal attacks. If someone in your home does this, it doesn't matter who it is, you must tell. Talk to other adults, like teachers or counselors.
They want to help. No one has the right to hurt you. If you think you've been abused, remember the protect yourself rules to know when to ask for help and how to stay safe.
Hey guys, Maya here. I have a quick story about making smart choices. Last weekend, I was playing a game and talking with the other players. I met a boy in the chat named Simon. He mentioned he was from my hometown, and after talking, we realized we went to the same school. I friended him, and we started joking about our teachers and sending each other memes. He was really nice, but at one point, he wanted me to send him pictures of myself. I didn't even know what he looked like. His profile picture was a frog. But he said he wouldn't send pictures of himself until I sent him pictures of me. I started to get a bad feeling about Simon. Isn't there a word for this sort of thing? I wasn't too worried about it yet, but then he asked me to come over to his house. That creeped me out, and I ignored Simon after that. I realized that I could have been talking to anyone. The next day at school, I asked my teacher about Simon. I told her the whole story, and she was so concerned that she looked through the school's records. There was no one named Simon even enrolled. How could someone have known things about my school if they didn't go there? Then I remembered a picture I posted on a different site. That picture had my school's address in the background. My name was on my game profile. If Simon had searched my name, he would have found that picture and found me. I deleted the picture and went back to make sure all my profiles were locked. Some sites don't do that automatically. I'm so glad I told my teacher about what happened. If someone online wants to meet up or tries sexting with you, the smart choice is to block them and tell an adult. Also, as I've learned, never post anything private. Your pictures, phone number, school, or address can be used to find where you are, or where you're going to be. Never share anything you're not comfortable with everyone seeing. So, until next time, friends, I'm gonna go get my phone number changed.
Hi, I'm Darius. If somebody touches you on a private body part, you might feel confused, scared, or embarrassed. Talking about it is probably the last thing you want to do. But if you keep it a secret, it won't stop. We got a new coach for the city basketball team this year. He was really nice and everyone on the team liked him. He'd give us advice after practice and teach us new plays. But he spent a lot of time with my friend Jamal. Jamal was Coach's favorite, and I was a little jealous. But Coach was always touching Jamal. Coach even bought him a new pair of shoes. Sometimes Jamal would go into Coach's office after practice. I thought it was weird, but Jamal never talked about it. So I didn't think of it again. Then one day, Coach called me into his office. I thought I was finally going to start a game. But then he told me to take my shirt off. I didn't want to. He said he was going to help me be a better athlete, and that if I didn't do it, he would take me off the team. I told him no, and ran out. No one should ever ask you to take your clothes off, or try to touch your private parts. Coach scared me, but I'm glad I knew to run away. Was this what he was doing with Jamal? I found Jamal waiting for his mom. It was hard, but I asked if Coach had done anything weird with him. He said no, but I know it wasn't true. I told him what happened, that Coach got me alone and wanted me to take my clothes off. I asked if that was what happened to him when he went to Coach's office. I wanted both of us to tell someone, but Jamal didn't want to. I asked him if he had promised Coach that he would keep it a secret. He told me Coach gave him those new shoes to keep him from telling. He was scared, but I told him we couldn't keep it a secret, or it would keep happening. Finally, he agreed to go with me to tell. His mom got there, and we told her everything. It was over after that. We had to talk to more people. But Coach was gone, and nobody else got hurt.
This was a very rare and scary situation, Darius, but you handled it perfectly. You reacted to what your coach tried to do by telling him to stop and by running away.
It was hard because everyone liked Coach. He was our friend, and we trusted him.
Unfortunately, things like this have happened. It doesn't mean you shouldn't trust your teachers or coaches.
Right. Just remember that if something like this does happen to you, say no, run away, and tell. Never keep it a secret. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad I was able to talk about it. For me, Jamal, and the rest of the team.